Hey everybody. Hi Shin. What? Why are you eyeballing me, huh? What did I ever do to you, punk? What's up? Anyways, folks. I came back like 2 hours ago about? Yeah, like 2 hours ago. I finished the movie and I came home. It was amazing, of course. It's probably my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time. Just oof. Don't worry, there won't be any spoilers until like let's say later or whatever. You know what I mean. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not gonna say what's true, what's not true. But once we get to that point, I'll be spilling it, huh, Shin? Huh? All the freaking, probably not all the Easter eggs. That because I don't remember all of them. But anyways, let's get to discussing after I put on my secret identity, if you will. Go, Shin, run, boy, run. Alright, they gave us these two over there. We had like these mass menus. It was cool. It was actually really awesome. I liked it. What did they? It was like right where you sat. They're the menus, but they're like those party masks, just without the screen. It looked just like what I had right now. And on the back of it had the menu, and I couldn't eat most of them as much as I wanted to because they're Spider-Man related things. But I don't like cheese. And it was like a Spider-Man. Freak, I can't remember. They were cheese though. I think it was like a burger, but it had like cheese fries in it or something. And then there's like cheese fries again, a Green Goblin something. And then there's the only thing I could have got, but I literally don't have enough money. Was a pumpkin spice shake or something like that. The Green Goblin shake or something. It was really cool. But besides that, my fellow believer, let's turn on some music. No, hopefully it's not too loud. I'm gonna have to check it on Twitter because Twitch. Don't wanna have it go over me. You know what I mean? Don't wanna have Oh wait, I'm dumb. Okay, and now. Oh wait, I'm dumb. Okay, and now. Oh wait, I'm dumb. Okay, and now. Whoa, is it really that quiet? Okay, let's turn it up a little. And my volume, or no, I'm supposed to turn down the volume. Okay, and here we go. Okay, and here. Okay, that's good. Whatever. All right then. Whatever. Okay, people. Let's talk about Spider-Man. So it was great. As I said before, it was probably my favorite movie of all the Spider-Man movies. They hit almost every single mark I was hoping they would hit. Let's see. Story-wise, no spoilers, obviously. Like I said, Spider-Man tried to send villains back to their dimensions because after a spell gone wrong, they all come through, and that's the story. Now that we're knowing what we're working with, I do know for sure that freaking Tom Holland's suit does get messed up, and he does get there. I'm not gonna say how, but he does get that full golden spider in a not anticlimactic. Don't even say that. It's more like an okay way. You would kind of expect it, though. I also won't understand why specifically it was made. Seeing, yeah, I don't get it. Whatever. But it was pretty cool seeing all the villains come back. Who was there? There was like there's Doc, there is Green Goblin, and they do him justice. You bet your big booty they done justice too. Freaking ooh. They got Electro back. They what did they? Oh, Sandman's back. You know, I can see why they did something, but with him, but I don't get why. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of confused about that. And then there's who's the other? Oh, the lizard, right? They actually did him pretty some good justice too, because if you're a fan of the original movie, then it's kind of like if you pay attention to his eyes, you could see his skin color around it. It was kind of weird, but I guess that was kind of the point of it because they could easily took him out. But in this one, I don't think they went down that route. They went down his eyes actually look like a reptile's. You know, looks pretty cool. It was pretty sick. I wish they would have gave him that snake snout or the alligator snout, whatever you want to call it. But whatever. The lizard is the lizard. And then it was pretty cool seeing all the villains meet each other. It was like, but that's one of the problem. Not a problem, I guess. More like a nitpick. Because I know all the Spider-Man stuff already, of course, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but of course I know the lores, and I don't mind hearing them again for people who never watched the others. But there's just some moments that I'll get on about later, where it's just like, okay, we get it, and that's cool. I thought it was really cool. It just it kept happening. You know what I mean? Like the same hype. No, no, not the hype of the movie. Just like with, there's so much I gotta say, but I have to watch about what I say too for now. Um, the the fourth dimensional crap was awesome. Friggin', you see the train, the choo choo, the whole mirror dimension or whatever you want to call it. Um, you see Peter. Oh, they don't hold back on Peter though at all. They show his strength this time. Like usually, let's say you go to the older movies, in every single movie they kind of show his strength, but not in the actual blunt way. Like you don't see Peter stopping a car dead in his hand and picking it up or anything like that. Like in let's say the Raimi series, the only thing you kind of see is the train, the debris falling on the top of Mary Jane, uh, maybe Flint Mark. No, because he's sand, so it doesn't really matter. See, like, they don't really do it justice back then. They kind of did, like if he was not hitting as hard or whatever, and then, but they never really showed what he was capable of. Not even in the black suit, really. And then, and for what's the next series? Amazing or whatever. They they kind of just like they kind of showed it. And that's why I liked it. That's kind of one of the things I liked about Amazing. Because they show when he first gets his powers, blah, 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 and he goes to the sink, and he's accidentally tearing everything apart with ease, and then the whole basketball scene, it was crazy. And you get to see how he has to hold back. But they didn't fully go with it, you know what I mean? But in this time, nah, bruh, the fights are just amazing. You see debris. You see freaking smashing into walls. You see all that good stuff. You see actual some good I guess you can say acrobatics, but good fighting. The choreography was great. Freaking oof. There's some brutality in there too. Um Plot twists. Was there any plot twists? Not I guess, but then not really. Yes and no, I guess you could say. And then yeah, overall, it was a great movie. I will address the flaws too, though, that personally, because I feel like the flaws are more of a personal type of thing, unless some things which I have to explain later. But yeah, the flaws I would have is like, was it the animation sometimes? I hope not. I hope I was just going mentally insane or something because sometimes I don't remember them now, but I felt like I noticed something I shouldn't. You know what I mean? And I'm like, wait, and now I'll just continue watching. But it was just weird. Even some wall crawling was a little weird. I mean, yeah, I get it. Wires. I know, blah blah blah. But you would. See, I can't complain, but I can complain because you can tell it's a little not realistic sometimes. But whatever. All in all, great movie. It would be a 10 out of 10. I don't know why, but I feel like it's like a 9 or 8.5 out of 10. I don't know why though. Still, I still can't believe what I've seen though. It was great. But that's it. That's my review. But I'm kidding. All right, let's go to the spoiler section, people. I could make a whole spoiler thing myself. Ooh. Here, hold on. If you give me a moment, I'll make one on the spot just for you guys. Just for you guys. You know, the Krita says never load. Let's switch music too. I don't know if that's loud enough, honestly. I know how this thing goes. Hopefully it's loud enough, but whatever. Let's start this art thing. Cat, why do you gotta go where my mouse is? Don't kick me because your junk's near my hand. Okay, hold on, I'm searching. I'm searching. Where's that? Do I have it anywhere? No, not really, huh? Dang it, I was gonna do something a little cooler, but let's just start from scratch. I know you guys can't see it, my bad. It'll be quick though. Okay, let's make the background white. Okay, then let's do a red. I don't know what that is, but it's like footprints. It looks pretty stupid, honestly. Cat! He's so annoying sometimes. Alright, what's this thing? Yeah, Ooh, actually I have a cool idea. Alright, we're almost there. It looks pretty stupid, honestly. But that's okay. And oh, there's an after credit scene too, but there's a couple of them. There's the second one, this girl, I don't know if she's pretty or not, I couldn't tell because she had a mask on and all. But she said, "Oh, stay, there's a cool thing about to happen." And we're all like, "Ooh, my dad and my brother." We're like, "Oh, really now, huh?" All right. Okay, I made that. Um, let's get our text on here and then we're done. And what is it? Oh, spoilers. Spoilers. Okay, I made it. Alright. Let's do an extra thing. Let's darken it up a little. I think it should look good for now. Okay, it looks stupid, but it's good. I'm done. Save as or JPEG, and let's call it spoilers. I know this is stupid. I know. Blah blah blah. Let's name it to spoilers. Okay, now let's just pick it out and we should be good. Where is it? And I messed up, didn't I? God dang, fine, I'll just put on images. It's always something with me, poor people, I'm sorry. Alright, there we go. Let's show it. Spoiler alert! Woo, spoiler! Alright, I think I got that. Okay, there's this guy. Okay, there we go. Let me rename it real quick to spoilers. Not spoilers. Spoilers. Okay. Alright. Let's cover the whole screen now. I know. I'm sorry. God dang it. Come on. Hurry up. Okay. Spoiler alert, everyone. Spoilers, turn back now if you don't want to be spoiled at all. Beep, beep. Spoilers, spoilers. Woo, wee, wee, wee. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. This is the real deal now, people. Now is the time where I'm done playing. Taking off the mask. That's how serious I am. Bruh. That movie was fantastic. So, I'm gonna go through the story with you. Then you'll see my surprise along with it. So basically, the whole shebang of, oh, I'm Peter. It literally takes place right after Far From Home. Like, right after that movie. Same time. Everyone finds out his identity. He swings Mary Jane away after he finds out. The whole world's like, oh my god. Even Flash was like, oh no! It was cool. And it was funny because in the aftermath, he dyes his hair blonde. And he starts following them around, Peter and Ed and Mary and NJ. And he's like, oh yeah, I know this guy. You mess with him, you mess with me. We're best friends. It's pretty funny. Just seeing him just trying to look up to him like a god. It was, and don't even get me started on the teachers. They freaking made a monument of him in the school. And then that one guy, what's his name? Off of Eric Andre show, the Eric Andre show. I don't remember his name. Him as the gym coach, he was with JJ or J. Jonah Jameson on that. He was like, nah, this guy's a killer. And they're like, fool, shut up. He's a hero, sir, soldier, sir. It was funny. And then the whole world is either hating him, loving him, and there is a reason why you don't see him in his normal suit. And thank God the new suit isn't really there for too long, so you can enjoy the Spider-Man suit. But it was a quick takeaway where people knew him. They're like, Mysterio was our real hero, and they threw green paint at him, but it didn't come off or something like that. So they're trying to figure out how to get it off the whole time for like, I don't know, the first half an hour, first hour, and then they're like, oh, boop, turning inside out, and then the whole thing happens, and then eventually Aunt May washes it for him, and then boop, back to normal. All right, now the start of the story, blah blah blah. The whole world knows. He goes home. They're all outside of his house. He tries to go to jail. They try to take him to jail. You know the shebang. You probably guessed what I'm going at right now. And I think they get away with it, but they're trying to put crimes against him. And then you see him. You see his lawyer, and who other than Matt Murdock himself from Daredevil, the Netflix series. My boy was right there, and as soon as I seen the walking cane, when it shows the scene, you'll see the scene. But when you see it, you're like, oh my god, he's in here, woo! I mean, it's not really that much of a surprise considering that, superhero lawyer, and then Kingpin, I think, is in the Hawkeye show or something like that. So yeah, they share the same universe now. Means Luke Cage and the Defenders are in there. It's really cool. And then they just it sucked that you don't see Daredevil. You only see Matt for only like a minute or two, couple minutes, and that was his cameo. That was it. And then so Peter's safe, but now they're keeping an eye on him or something like that. Aunt May and Happy broke up. It was pretty funny and sad. Hey, Cat, you better stop it right now. He's trying to push my Switch off the table. Little fool. Okay, and then what else happened? I'm sorry for the and what I'm thinking, blah blah blah. My memory's bad enough, and now that was like 2 hours ago. Oh boy, like I still can't believe some of the things happen. Like, I think after the whole spell, and he's like, "Oh, I want to change it," and Doctor Strange is like, "Okay," blah blah blah. He's like, "No one's gonna know who you are," and then Peter's like, "Oh wait, what about Mary MJ?" And he's like, "Fine." Then he pushes down the spell, does it again, and Ned pushes down the spell, does it again, and then he's like, "Aunt May," he does it one more time. He's like, "No more, or we're screwed." And Peter kept talking and talking and talking and talking and talking, and then yeah, what about what you would expect? Peter caused the whole multiverse to see them. Like, because how do you explain it? The whole multiverse or omniverse, but I think it's multiverse. When they see, he was trying to make people forget that he ever existed. And he was trying to make people forget about him, but in turn, it did the opposite. And that everyone who knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man from the other universes, they started coming. So, Peter's like, oh no. Then he goes to the bridge because they try to go to college. They obviously don't make it because of him being Spider-Man. Then he's like, I can go on the bridge and talk to her. And so he goes to the bridge. He's talking, and then Doc Ock starts attacking. And I think I know when they took him. They took him from when he was I think the second Spider-Man movie. If you see him, like at the end when Peter's fighting him, and he knocks him into the water. You know what I mean? He knocks him into the water, and he's punching him in the water, and then Doc grabs him by the throat, and when he takes off his mask and stuff. It's right before he takes off his mask. It's when Peter's beating him up in the water. That is when I think they switched his universe. Because that's kind of how he explained it. Because he knew Peter was Spider-Man, but he also didn't do anything. It was weird. Okay, and then they fight. He's beating Peter, kind of, until Peter hacks his arms and blah blah blah, saves the woman. She's like, I'm getting you and your buddies into MIT or something. And he, what is it? Doc Ock, he takes with him to, no. He gets up on the bridge and he's saying, who are you? What the heck? And then you see Green Goblin appear out of the smoke, you know that. it kind of sucks. That's the only time you'll see him with the helmet on. That is what broke me. Now that I think about it, that breaks my heart. That was the scene that kind of made me like, oh man, really? Because it was awesome. It's like, oh, he's back, he's back. I mean, I've seen a picture of him before where his jaw's off. I thought he was gonna fight Peter, and Peter was gonna straight up smack his jaw off or something, you know, like the helmet at least. No. Peter gets teleported away. Doc Ock is in a cell. Doctor Strange is like, oh look, these are villains. You know, explain the whole multiverse and the villain thing. And then he's like, here. He took the rest of his Iron Spider suit, like magic-wise, turned it into a teleporter, gave it back to Peter, and says, go catch him. And then and I think Doctor Strange was hurt because he grabbed Reptile from the sewers or something like that. And so Reptile's there. No, the Lizard, my bad. The Lizard's there. Doc Ock is trapped. Peter, MJ, and Ned are there. They're all talking. Peter goes off to find the Green Goblin. That's when he turns the suit inside out, you know. And then they tape like a phone to it so they can see. And then he's looking, you know, for Green Goblin. But then you start seeing things move around him on the floor. And I thought it was Venom at first. I was like, oh my god, they really did add him, huh? But no, you see Electro start forming from like the power lines. And he's like, oh no, it's him. And they're like, get him! So he shoots him with that thing, but it just goes right through because he's just energy. And he was still the blue Electro at first, you know? Until Sandman saves him. It was Sandman that moved around. Sandman, you know, blocks him like a wall. And he's like, hey, Spider-Man. That guy's new or something. He's like, I'm not your Peter. He's like, what? He's like, I'll explain later. He's like, okay. And then they fight Electro together. He's naked because they stopped him, and I don't know why he turned back to normal, but he turns back to normal. He's not blue anymore. He's like, oh, this world's energy is different, and I like it. You know what I mean? And then freak, hold on. Let's put on. There we go, people. Woo! Okay. If it's too loud, let me know. If you care to. So, they give him clothes. They all go back to the basement or whatever, you know, wherever Doctor Strange is keeping the villains. He puts Electro in there. Oh no, they don't go back. He teleports Electro back. You see him go in the cell, and then Sandman, you know, he takes off his mask and he's like, where'd you send him? He's like, oh, I sent it to there, and Sam's just not having it. He's like, why'd you do that? What's happening? He's getting aggressive. He's like, whoa, calm down, you know. I'm gonna explain to you. Just give me a chance, you know. And he's like, I don't trust you. I think he's about to attack when Spider-Man takes him to the cell by shooting that thing at him. And then Peter goes back. They're all there and they're all discussing their past. Like, Doc Ock is like, wait, you're just saying the green guy in the glider? You mean Osborn? Oh my god, you know, that's him. He died by his own glider. And then Sandman is like, oh, Doc Ock or something like that. And then Electro's like, oh, it's the Lizard guy. And Lizard's like, oh, Max, how come you don't look retarded anymore? And it was pretty funny. And then the side cast was pretty good too. MJ and Ned were pretty fine. So was Aunt May for now. And then what else happened? Peter finds out Green Goblin's out there. Because Aunt May calls him and says, hey, this guy you're looking for is here at Feast. Because now there's Feast. You know the thing Aunt May goes works at? Yeah, Feast's there now. And then who else? What happened? Oh, right before that, you see him in the alley, Norman. And I guess since it's not his universe, so his home is lived in by someone else. He doesn't have his son. He has nowhere to call home basically. There's nothing for him. And he's normal Norman. So he's in an alley hiding his glider, and then he has his helmet on the dumpster, and then the helmet's talking to him like his second personality, like the first movie. He's like, "Oh, you're in a new world, poor you, go cause destruction, you're the god," something like that. And he's like, "Shut up!" And he breaks the helmet, and that's how. That's the only thing that hurts me now that I think about it. They didn't even have a scene with him with his whole suit on, just that CGI scene of him floating. Like, god dang it, man. I like that suit. It was cool. You know, I wish I could have seen it. But oh well. Yeah, so he goes to Feast. Peter goes there in his inside-out suit, and he's like, "I gotta send these guys back." And Anime's like, "Peter, you know you gotta do the right thing," or something like that. And he's like, "Okay." And so he takes them back, and that's how, yeah, he takes them all to the cells. Doctor Strange takes Peter's gauntlet away and sends him in the cell. Green Goblin, And then they discuss, he's like, "Yep, I'm gonna send back to the dimensions," and they're basically fated to die. Because, you know, they keep talking about how they died and stuff. And they're fated to die by Spider-Man. And Peter's like, "Oh no," and Peter Strange is like, "Yeah, kid, nothing you can do about it, sorry." And Peter just takes the cube and tries to get away. You've seen the trailer. He tries to get away, Strange is playing with them. And then here's like other cool thing, I don't know if it's spider sense or whatever, but so Strange pushes him out of his body, right? He pushes him out, and then Peter has that thing in his hand still, right? The cube. And Doctor Strange is like, "No, you're not dead. That's what's happening." And he tries to take it. Peter's body is reacting, and it's like dodging Strange. It's cool. He's like, "How are you doing that?" And Peter's like, "I don't know." So Peter goes back to his body. He's like, "That was awesome, but never do it again." And he leaves, and the whole chase ensues, fourth dimensional stuff, you know, mirror dimension. And Strange is like, "This is my domain. I can do whatever I want." Peter's like, "Oh no," and he's like, "Oh wait a second, this is like geometry. Whoa, I'm good at math." And so he does like all this geometry stuff, and he webs, what's his name, Doctor Strange into like a starfish. Like his arms and legs are all spread out like a starfish, and he's webbed up from so many different rocks. It's weird. You'll see what I mean. And then he's like, "No, Peter," and Peter takes his ring in the box, and he goes through the portal. He gives it to MJ, and then he says, "Hey, Parodies, because I'm dangerous." And they're like, "Okay, I guess." And then, oh freak, what happens after that? Okay, so all the villains are in the cell, and he's like, "I don't want to kill you guys, because you guys die." And they're like, "Why should we trust you?" And he's like, "Because I don't want you guys to die." And MJ's like, "Yeah, he's not that bad," or something. And they're like, "Fine then." So they all leave. They go to, they're living in Happy's apartment now for safety reasons or something like that. And then so they're all in there. The lizard decided to stay in the truck. You know, I probably don't know why, but he just decided to stay in there. Doc Ock, I think Norman and Peter team up together to make the chip to help Dr. Octopus. So he does that. They make the chip again, and Doc's like, "Oh no, stop! I hate you!" Then he puts it in. Then he looks like he dies for like a good 20 seconds, and then they're like, "Are you all right, Doc? Doc?" And then he wakes up and he's like, "Oh no, I'm normal again. Oh hey, it's nice to meet you, Peter. Thanks. Oh hi everyone. Thanks, Norman. Blah blah blah." Electro gets this thing on his chest that is supposed to take away all of his power or something like that once the timer runs out or something. And it's like a green timer thing. Sandman, nothing yet, but he just wants to go home to see his daughter or something like that. Who else was in there? Just them, I think, right? Was it free? Anyway, so Peter's in the thing trying to make something, I think, for Green Goblin. Then his spider sense goes off, and the lizard's like, "Now's my time," because, you know, J. Jonah Jameson's outside with the police and stuff. And Peter's like, "What the freak?" And both Norman and Otto are, "What the heck? What's wrong?" Peter and Peter's just like, you know how in the movies when you get hit in the head, you get the high pitch sound and you're just like wobble and stuff? It's like that. He's walking around like, "What the heck? What is that?" And everyone's in there, and he's looking around like, something goes wrong. Then it clicked, and he shot his web out at Green Goblin's hand. And he's like, that little spider sense trick of yours is pretty cool. And then he's like, you think I want to help you, Peter? And then he's like, these aren't accidents, these are gifts. And then Electro rips off his thing. Green Goblin starts beating up Peter. Sandman kind of just fades away and helps Electro get away. What else happens? The lizard escapes the truck and just starts climbing the building or something. I don't know. I had to go pee a lot, so I think he starts climbing the building or something. Peter is fighting Green Goblin. I think Otto gets shocked by Electro, and then he runs away because he gets knocked out the window. He runs away, and then yeah, that is what I'm talking about. When I said the fight scenes are bomb, I wasn't kidding. They show how strong these guys are. They don't hold back, and that's why I like them. Freaking, like, you see Peter and Green Goblin going at it, and then you can see how they're losing their strength too. Like, was it Green Goblin would literally just throw Peter on the ground and like smash him with his elbow and go to the next floor below. Or Peter would, spin around him, shoot his webs at him, and shoot back down on him with a slingshot, go down the levels, smashing into walls. You see Peter like trying to beat him, and Green Goblin just laughing at him, and then he throws him to the floor. You get it. And then when Peter tries to go out the window, the lizard Goblin says, "I told you don't trust people," and throws him back in. And Green Goblin beats him up again. And then down the bottom floor, Aunt May grabs the serum or something like that. She grabs something. And so they go to the bottom of the main lobby, and I think they fight a little, not too much, until Green Goblin, I think, beats Peter down. Aunt May's there, and I think she stabs into the net, but I don't think it works or something like that. Yeah, I don't think the serum works. And so, or it gives him back his power, just something where it didn't work, or I don't know. And then he's like, well, that's because you love, and she's like, I'm gonna kill you, Peter, or something. Then he gets on his glider. Oh, no, he calls his glider because Aunt May's ready to fight him with like a stick or something. And then the glider hits from behind. Green Goblin jumps on the glider, hops, almost leaves, and he smiles and says, "Ha!" And he throws the bomb at her. Peter blocks it on the time, and then Green Goblin leaves, throws bombs at cop cars, blah blah blah. I think J. Jonah James has seen Peter too climb the building. He's like, "Haha, there he is! I'm gonna catch him." Peter picks up Aunt May, and they're both okay. And he's like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "Yes, Peter, you did the right thing." Blah blah blah, because he regrets it. So you did the right thing. Something and something, and then don't forget, Peter, because he's trying to say we gotta send them back so they die. And she's like, with great power comes great responsibility. And I was like, oh, so Aunt May tells him in this universe, huh? I was like, oh, yay. And I had to go pee, sadly, again. And I was trying to hold it. And then trying to walk away, but Aunt May just falls down. She's like, oh, I'm okay. And Peter sees that she's bleeding from the side, and she dies. It was a really sad scene too. It was like, you see Peter just not accepting that she died. He's like, come on, open your eyes, boo, blah 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 blah. And then she straight up just dies. She falls like, ugh, dead. And then Happy arrives. He knows what's happening, and then they start trying to arrest Happy. And then he's like, run, Peter! And they shoot Peter in the shoulder, I think, or they shoot him in this golden spider thing, because Doc Ock, after he gets healed, I think earlier when they first fight, he rips off that piece of the arm in the middle, and then it sticks to his arm, so now he gives it right back, the thing from the arms. He gives it right back to him, and that's what makes the golden spider, because that's the part he ripped off. And the rest of it was used to make that arm cannon thing, remember? And so, he disappears, and he goes to the big screen and watches J. Jonah say, wherever Spider-Man goes, trouble follows, he's terrible. And then, and that's when I had to go back. So I was like, okay. And then, yeah, so Peter disappears, MJ and Ned are like, oh no, because my brother told me what happened that night, and I missed it, and I was so mad when I came back, because I guess they were like, oh man, where's Peter? I don't know. So Ned, I think he talked about how he has like ancestors that used to do magic or something, and then Doctor Strange pushing away like, yeah, okay, whatever, and he puts on that ring or that Strange had, and he says, I wish I could see Peter. And then a portal opens, and then you see Spider-Man down the alley. And then they're like, hey, come here, come on, Spider-Man or Peter or something, right? And he comes in, but it ain't Tom Holland's Peter. It's Andrew's. It's the Amazing Spider-Man. He takes off his mask, and that's when it came out. I was like, whoa, it's him! And everyone's like, whoa. And they're like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Spider-Man. And they're like, no, you're not. And they're like, prove it. Climb the ceiling. Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh, this is the multiverse thing, huh? Whoa, I'm here to track my guys. And then they're like, oh, what the freak? So you're Peter? Oh, crap. And they're like, well, maybe we keep doing it, we'll get the real Peter eventually. So he does it again. He's like, I wish I could see Peter. Do you see a portal open? And guess who walks on through? You know who. But he's in casual clothing. And I gotta say, as much as it was great to see Tobey Maguire, he definitely is not the same he has to me. I mean, I ain't gonna complain about that. I mean, I know he's literally 20 years older, you know, but he definitely doesn't look the same no more. He's not plump and full of life. He looks kind of more thinner, older. Like, you can tell he's 50 or 60. You know, he doesn't look normal anymore, like from 2017. Or 2007. And I was like, ah, man, you know. But I was happy. I was like, oh, Peter's here, woohoo! Him and Andrew have like a web fight for a second. And then they're like, oh, crap, where's your Peter, you know, that guy, your guy, or whatever. Where would he be hiding? And they're like, oh, I know where. And they go to a building. They comfort him, and they're like, hey, Peter, we got a couple guests for you. And he's like, what? And then you see them jump down from the top of the building, both Tobey and Andrew, and they're like, hey, my bad, sorry for Aunt May. And he's like, you don't know how I feel, I'm done, I'm gonna kill him. And then Andrew, was it, who says what? I think Tobey says, my Uncle Ben died, and then, you know, it was hard to move on, but I had to for him. And then Andrew's like, my Gwen, who's basically your MJ, my MJ basically died. And it's hard, Marissa, so they're all relating to him. And then Peter's like, I didn't learn anything sadly from her, her death was pointless. And then her death was pointless. And then he said, the only thing she ever told me for saving me is that with great power. And then you see Tobey, when he hears it, he's like, comes great responsibility. And Tom's like, whoa, how did you know that? And Andrew's like, Tobey's like, my Uncle Ben taught me that. And then Tom's like, whoa! And then Andrew's like, my Uncle Ben did too right before he died. And they're all three like, whoa! And then they're like, well, we gotta stop the villains. So they go up to the lab. They all start making things. They all start chatting. They even bring up the webs, which is I couldn't catch all of it because I was laughing, but it was like they're like, all right, you know, web shooters, bam, 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 and Peter's like, Tobey was like, what? Like, yeah, web shooters are things, and he's like. They're like, wait, you don't have one? And he's like, he just shoots a web at a stool, and they're like, whoa, did that just come out of your, what the heck? And then he's like, what? And they're all like, what? And then they're like, all right, well, we're ready to go fight them. Do you even have your suit, or do you want to go looking like a hobo, basically? And Peter pulls on his neck, and you see his suit underneath, and you're like, oh, great. And so, So Peter and they all go. It was pretty cool because they're all maskless for a good while. The CGI for Raimi, you know, for the Tobey you don't get to see him much. Like, you see Toby, you see him in the suit, but you don't see enough of him just standing there. You know what I mean? I want to see Toby's new suit. Like, I want to see the CGI of it and everything, but no, you don't see it. You only see him moving, kind of. It was cool, of course. Don't get it wrong, that was awesome. But it's just, I wish Toby would stay still and I could see him in his suit, in his eyes, and see how cool it is. They even did it for Andrew, but you're kind of used to it, you know, the whole him moving around. It was cool. Both of them, all three of them were cool. And they're all just relating to each other. Blah blah blah, saying, "Oh, this is so cool, you guys are amazing," and that's what I was talking about earlier too. The whole, they kept dragging on scenes, even though I loved them. Like, they kept saying how it was cool to meet each other, how they love how they look, or something like that. Blah blah blah. They just kept praising each other, and it was cool. It was really cool. You would love it, but also at the same time, you'll be like, put on your mask. You know, go do some Spider-Man stuff. Don't just stand around, pop each other's backs, and talk. I mean, bruh. I'm not mad though. I think you'll know the scene's dragging on a little too long, and it's a little too fanboy-y. Like, you love it, but you also gotta admit, like, oh my god, you know. And besides that, who was there? They put on masks on. That's when you see the, you know, when they land on the Liberty's head, Statue of Liberty's head, and it's different positions from the fan-made things, you know. Like, Toby is on the point in the back, on the left. Andrew, I forgot. I think he's on the top too, standing. I don't remember. Tom's in front, you know. And then they start fighting the monsters. Remember the trailer where Lizard's face got kicked? Well, it was indeed Andrew, and he did like a backflip kick to his face or something. And they fight. And that's kind of what happens. They're swinging around, trying to do teamwork. They don't do good. And they're like, we keep messing up with each other, like webbing each other's faces. And they're like, ah! And they're like, yeah, we don't work good together, do we? And they're like, no, it's my first time. And Tom's like, well, I at least work together with other people, like the Avengers. And they're like, he's like, you have them? He's like, whoa. Toby's like, whoa, the Avengers? Who are they? Is it a band? And Andrew's like, whoa, are you a part of a band? He's like, no, it's Earth's Mightiest, whatever. And so they team up, and it's pretty cool to see them all swing together. Oh, it's freaking awesome. So there they are, just swinging together, fighting one villain at a time, one villain. Andrew against the Lizard for a second. Toby again. Oh, Toby was against the Lizard first, then it was Andrew. Then Andrew cured him, I believe. Or he tried to cure him. Toby, I think, was with Sandman. Tom was with Electro. So they're all fighting. I don't remember the exact events. I just know that I think Tom stabbed the Lizard with that, or he put it in his mouth, like cure, and it cures him. Electro, he was electrocuting Amazing Spider-Man, and then Doc Ock comes in. He seems evil. I think he grabs both both Toby and Andrew. And then they're like, Doc, what are you doing? Don't do this. And he's like, heh heh heh. Then he grabs Electro's, because he takes Iron Man's power reactor, his new reactor thing. And then, so he takes it right off of Electro, puts that thing that mutes his powers immediately this time. And so Electro's out for the count, and Amazing's like, bruh. And then Electro's like, I'm done. And then he made some stupid, he said something stupid like, man, I thought you were black underneath, you know? Maybe out there's a black Spider-Man. And then everyone, including, well, there's only a few people watching, literally, but I was like, oh my god. Miles. It was such a stupid reference. I was laughing. And then, Toby is about to die by Sandman because he's in the Statue of Liberty's head, I believe, and then the sand's filling up and he's drowning. Andrew turns on, or he throws the thing at Tom. Tom turns it on, throws it through the crack at Toby, and Toby turns it on. It turns Sandman back to normal, and then that's why I was confused. Sandman, the whole movie, was sand. He was literally sand. You don't see the actual actor himself, and I don't know why. I don't know. I should probably look it up. you know, but that only right there, when he's on the floor, do you see him, the actual actor. And Toby, and that's the coolest part, is that when Toby takes off his mask and walks up to Sandman, you hear the theme, the one it's like, dun, 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 you know which one. And I was like, oh, freak, woohoo! And then he's like, it's okay, Flint, or whatever, I'm gonna send you back home, stay here. And then so the Kid Lizard, Electro, and they cured Sandman. Doc Ock's good. And then he's like, alright, well, everyone's ready. What do we do now? And then you see your Green Goblin. Green Goblin comes and starts trying to throw bombs. Peter, a lot of things happen that I skipped that I'm just not remembering all the time. But Peter, Tom Holland, I think they team up because Doctor Strange comes. They take the box had a bomb in it or something. And then the sky starts cracking, and then, you know, the multiverse, and blah blah blah. And then Tom throws Green Goblin down to the Captain America shield, which is landed on the ground. And then everyone's okay. And Toby and Andrew are together. And Tom's beating the crap out of Green Goblin because he's like, oh, poor little you, couldn't save her, blah blah blah. And they're fighting, but Peter's beating him up, like bad, brutal, like straight up, pow, you know. And so he's beating the crap out of him, and looks like he's about to kill him. And when Green Goblin can't do anything more, I think Toby and Andrew look at each other and nod, like, yeah, you know what we gotta do. And then Tom grabs his glider. He picks up over his hand, and he's about to just straight up stab him. And then on the other side, Toby comes out of nowhere and stops it. And then Tom's mad, but he looks at Toby in the eye. They both look at each other as Toby kind of gives that gaze where it's like, you know what you're supposed to do. And Tom's like, dang it. So he pulls away, and then I think he puts away the glider, and Toby like nods, and then you hear a shank, and Toby's eyes widen like, oh. And then Green Goblin stabbed him through the chest or the stomach or something. And Toby looks down, then he falls over or something. What happened? And then Green Goblin, he's like, ha ha ha, do it, kill me, you know you want to, you know, you suck, you couldn't save anyone, you couldn't even save him or something. And it looks like Peter's about to kill him with his arm up in the air. And Andrew, I think he throws that thing that was supposed to cure Osborn, that Peter made, you know, Toby. Because, you know, they know they can't do their own crap. So he throws it at Tom. Tom grabs it from behind and stabs it into his hand. And then he's cured, and he's like, oh my god, did I do this? You know, some crap. And he looks at Toby, and they're like, are you alright? You know, and Andrew comes, are you alright? He's like, yeah, they ain't nothing new. I've been stabbed before. And then I was laughing. I was like how casual he shrugged off being stabbed. And then Andrew and Toby were together, and then Sky was ripping a Reese unit. And they're like, go. And then Tom goes to Doctor Strange on the top, and he's like, they're coming through. And they see like Rhino, like I don't know if it was the movie Rhino. I think it was like the original Rhino. Like you see shadows of the villains, like, a bunch of them. You don't know who they are, but so he's like, there's nothing we can do. We're screwed. And Tom's like, what if you erase our minds? He's like, that ain't gonna work. He's like, erase the minds that I'm Peter Parker. Because if they don't know Peter Parker, then they won't come. And then Doctor Strange is like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, alright, go say bye. And so Tom goes down. He meets with the other Spider-Man. They're like, it's been great meeting you guys. This is amazing. And they all hug, and they're saying how they love each other, how cool it was. And then Toby's all looking cool, you know, as Andrew holds him. And when Tom goes away to go talk to MJ, Andrew's terrible smiling, and Andrew's like, you're in so much pain right now, aren't you? And Toby's like, yup. And then he goes talks. Tom talks to MJ, Ned, talking blah blah blah. You know, this is gonna happen. You guys are gonna forget I exist. And they're like, you better tell us again when you're done. He's like, I will. And so they kiss. He high-fives Ned, basically like handshake. And then you see Peter leave. And then you see both Andrew and Toby look up at him. and then they look at each other, and then Andrew does like the peace sign or something, and then Toby waves or does like the hand symbol. I don't know. He does something, and they both disappear along with all the villains. And then it just cuts to after. I think it's snowing. Tom is no one knows who he is now, and he goes to the cafe where MJ works, and he sees Ned. She waves at him, and he's like, "Oh crap, she remembers me." And then you see Ned walk in, and they talk with each other like they're good friends, you know. And you're like, great. So they know each other, but not Peter. And then he has a note, and he's ready to tell her everything. He's like, "I'm Peter Parker, and I want coffee." And she makes him his coffee and donut, and he looks at Ned, and he's completely happy. They're both in college. And that's when Peter realizes that if he tells him, it's all over, He'll ruin their lives. So he's like, "Thanks for the coffee," and he leaves. And then he gets a new apartment, and it's crappy. And you see he's moving in, and he accepted where he is. He has to get a job. And he sees his mask, he grabs it, and he jumps out the window. And he made his own suit, and it's the classic suit. Except I think it's the one you see if you look at Disneyland or whatever that one is. But yeah, it's a new suit, and it looks just like the classic. And I was like, oh my god! And that's it. It ends with that. And then there's the after credit scene where Venom, Eddie Brock, and they're like, "I don't understand. There's super people here. I gotta go meet that spider guy." He's like, "Are you gonna pay the tab?" Because he's in Mexico. And then he disappears too. And I was like, really? That's stupid. And then, but you see a piece of Venom got stuck on the table. And so you're like, oh crap. So he has a symbiote now. Blah, blah, blah. And that's the end of the movie. Nothing much else to talk about. 9 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. It was amazing. You'll know what I mean, though. But, yeah. That's all I gotta say. It's a great movie. I do recommend it highly, if you care about my opinion. Well, that's all I gotta say. Bye. Sayonara.